wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 276 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we'll be talking about PlayStation's rumored hardware showcase. We're going to have a whole bunch of Final Fantasy news, an extravaganza, if you will, and how PlayStation is leaving Gamescom and so much more. But with all that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Doing real great, Joe.
We got it. Oh my God, it sounds so good. You sound
I gotta get
so
used
good.
to it. I gotta get used to it. Yeah, so first things first, patrons. This is the first show with the new fancy mic, all because of your support. We love you very, very much. I feel like a professional with this thing.
That's right.
Especially, like, honestly, I love the Elgato mic. The Wave 3 mic was fantastic.
It was.
This mic arm, though, man, I am on cloud 9 with this thing. It's so smooth. It doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
I feel really cool just moving it around all over the place. I know it's not really great for audio, but you know what? I can do it.
Yeah. And listen, you had a little bit of event happen to you that was very concerned about.
Yeah, I lost my dollar bill in the crack of my car in between the driver's seat. And
were you able to get it back?
Yeah. No, the Stevenson household got hit by COVID. 2.5 years of doing everything that we could possibly can.
Yeah.
And it only took one person who should not have been out and about to bring it back.
Yeah.
And
but everybody's okay.
Everybody is good. I am still recovering. Luckily, knock on wood, I didn't get hit with like the respiratory issues of COVID. It just felt like I got hit by a Mack truck. I was so stiff and sore and headaches and fevers and all that stuff. Yeah. But so like I'm lucky that is all that I had.
Yeah.
But like my mom lost her taste. She can't taste anything. She was in bed for a couple days. Little Owen, who I was very, very nervous about, who's going to be a year old in 2 weeks.
Oh my God, already?
I know, it's crazy. He was positive. He had a really rough like Sunday, and then he was back to normal on Monday. It was very stressful because he's the only one in the house that isn't vaccinated.
Yeah, for
obvious reasons, because they, I think, just greenlit the vaccine for the younger kids.
How do you make those little baby syringes?
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor. I can't figure that out.
Hey, Fisher Price, I know there's toy versions of them. Just make them real. Oh, that's a horrible business strategy. Don't do that, Fisher Price.
The Fisher Price CEO's like, that is genius, and that idiot didn't trademark it. Frederick, get the patents out.
Oh my God!
But dude,
they're gonna be afraid. They're gonna license out cartoon characters, and then kids are gonna be afraid of Paw Patrol dogs because they're too sharp.
That's right.
Stevenson household's back on the mend. Everyone's good. Very, very happy. Yeah. Just really wish she'd never hit in the first place because it's been a week out of work. I don't get paid, so I'm gonna have to figure some things out. Yeah. But you know what? You know me. I always show like OnlyFans gets from here down video feed. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
Like, I don't wear shorts when I record, and OnlyFans Kinder Puppy, which is my username over there.
Oh really?
Yeah. Fun fact: that is the screen name Xbox gave me.
Oh my God!
Because I couldn't put back in the day when I was Who Dat Ninja, they wouldn't have accepted because it was too long. So they gave me Kinder Puppy, which I think is the same number of letters. And I didn't know how to change it, so I had to use my free name change to change it from Kinder Puppy to Mr. K-Step.
Honestly, sounds equally good to me. That said, though, I'm so happy that you're better. I'm so happy that everybody in your house is, because I was giving you like straight up every day. I'm like, how you feeling?
You're like, here's some breathing exercises. I'm like, maybe I didn't communicate with you, Joe, just what I'm going through, because I'm not dealing with that, and luckily no one in the house was. But I appreciate you so much for doing that.
Of course.
Appreciate everyone for sending me their well wishes. It means a lot.
And also, a long intro aside, I do want to thank Scoop Jess, who got me, they literally just came in before recording, the purple PlayStation 5 plates.
Ooh-wee.
The console looks beautiful. Looks absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Scoop Jess. You are the real one. And honestly, it looks fantastic. That's my life update. You're like, I survived a deadly illness. And Mia's like, I waited for UPS.
And while we're at it, because I don't think I said anything on last week's show.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, and I just forgot.
Please.
Shout out to Griffin in the community and in the Discord. I think Griffin's username is Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted that Last of Us Part 1 Firefly Edition really bad. It was only on PlayStation Direct.
Yeah.
PlayStation Direct hates us so much, in fact, that I just, before we started recording, it's like, oh, let me see if I can just get the side plates. I don't know, maybe. Nope, still can't. Because for some billing issue,
we always get a weird error.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to call up PlayStation Direct.
I mean, I did. They were like, we don't know. But Griffin had 2 ordered. He's sending 1 to my house, so I don't have to worry about it.
That's awesome.
And won't take any of my money. So what I'm going to do to pay it forward, because I don't play those games, I'm very appreciative.
Yeah.
And if I knew how to send Griffin the money, I would. I'm going to give somebody in the community $100 to PSN.
Ooh.
The equivalent. So all you have to do is Joe loves sweet num nums in the comment sections.
No, God,
or,
no.
Or tweet at us at Mr. KSEP, at Mr. Badbit, and at PS Trophy Room on Twitter with Joe loves sweet num nums, and I will pick somebody to get $100 to PSN.
And you know what? We'll throw a Spotify 5-star review.
Yeah.
Apple review. You could say Joe loves sweet num nums. I hate how this has become a thing within this community so much. I
thought of that last week, and I've been holding on to it because I know how much you hate it.
Oh man, I love having you back, man. I really do. That said, listen, we got a lot of PlayStation stuff to talk about this week, but just a little bit of housekeeping. First things first, Corey Barlog keeps teasing us about how he's played God of War Ragnarok. He knows things about God of War Ragnarok.
It's been a week since you've been back, Corey. Slow down.
Slow down. Slow your roll on Twitter, but I get it. You're working overtime there. There may be a state of play sooner rather than later. We don't know when this state of play may be dropping, but if there is God of War Ragnarok news to be had, just be on the lookout. If there is a state of play that drops, there will be a reaction podcast to come alongside it. So it may be on a Monday, maybe when we actually record or drop a episode out, which is every Thursday. Who knows? Just be on the lookout. Check your RSS feeds. That said, of course, if you like what you're hearing, please consider dropping us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star review over on Spotify. It definitely does help us out, and it grows this big, beautiful family that we call home here at the Trophy Room. And of course, I want to thank our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It is the reason why we look so good. We sound so great. Look, at Kyle sounds so goddamn crisp, and he just got over a respiratory disease. It's amazing. And it's all because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. So if we ever got you through a long car ride, a long day at work, whatever your situation may be, definitely does help us out. Even if it's just $1, it helps grow this channel and make us better. So thank you so much. And I want to thank our newest patrons, Richard Jones at the bronze level, Savoy Prime at the Bronze Plus tier. I want to thank our Platinum producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our Gold members, Too Soon, Gavin Gottfried, Jose Jimenez, Jedi Master Ren, Metal Kirby, Awesome Dave, Robbie Bobby Miller, Shroobles, and Bits. I want to thank our Silver Plus members, Hide Indoors, Nakachaka, Marcus O'Neill, JB the Purple Monkey, J-Dust Von Metal, Tim Ulf, Justin Rodriguez, Cypher Primus, Captain Logan, Brenton Zachary, K. Grimm, Rick Arrington, Dewane Raksha, The Good Sir, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, Drellish, Fuji, Andy Daynell, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Manx Vizia, The Lord, Commander Corgi, Elo 2032, Stephen Flesh, Jinx the 27th, Bubble Boy N7, Jesse Garcia, Hambone, The Aztec King, Millennial Falcon Gaming, and Darth Simon the Pie Man. Goodbye, Darth. Pie Man. That's a little Wink and a nod, you know. Anybody watch Kenobi? It's amazing. It made me believe in God again. You know what I mean? All thanks to you, amazing patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Thank you all so much. And now it is time to square up the news.
What brings you back into the house of our Lord, Joe? Some guy in a mask?
Guy in a robe and a guy in a dark suit and a respiratory thing.
They yell at each other about the high
machine.
Ground. And like, you know, I'm here to see what it's all about again.
It's a little frog child. And like the priest is like, listen, whatever's getting him in the door nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Next Sunday for Mass, it's lightsaber day. Just bring your lightsabers to church.
Exactly. And then like they'll throw like "This is the way" somewhere in a hymn.
Lord be with you, and this is the way.
Yes.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up is from Nick Tan over at PS Lifestyle. New Sony gaming headsets reportedly leaked. A trio of Sony gaming headsets have been reportedly leaked, specifically 3 Sony Inzone H series headphones, the H3, H7, and H9. This report comes by way of site 91 Mobiles from tipster Steve Hemmerstoffer, otherwise known as @OnLeaks on Twitter. On the more affordable end, the Sony Inzone H3 is a wired headset with a black mic stem coming out of the left ear cup. It will have a USB Type-C port, a button for toggling noise canceling or ambient sound mode, an LED indicator, and a volume wheel next to the mic. The Sony Inzone H7 will look very similar to its H3 counterpart, with the exception of a white mic stem. Capable of wireless connectivity via Bluetooth USB dongle, the H7 has a power button and a game chat button along the right ear cup. The premium Sony Inzone H9 operates similar to the H7, except that it includes noise canceling and an additional LED light. The report does not provide a release date for these 3 headsets, nor does it mention a price point. Earlier this month, there was speculation of another PlayStation State of Play from insider Tom Henderson. His original tweet about the possible event was removed after he realized that he, quote, had to delete the hardware bit because it's not what people are speculating, end quote. The announcement of these Sony Inzone headsets may have been the hardware bit he originally referenced. And in an update from PS Lifestyle, the 2 Inzone monitors have been labeled as perfect for PS5 and will come with exclusive features for PlayStation, such as auto HDR tone mapping and auto genre picture mode. The first of the monitors will be suited to those who want 4K gaming at 144 Hz, and the second will provide full HD gaming at 240 Hz and has... what's happening here, PS Lifestyle? Did the sentences get cut off?
Yeah, maybe.
Both will apparently get VRR, HDMI, G-Sync support, and have a low latency of 1 millisecond GTG, whatever that means. That's me, not PS Lifestyle. The monitors are both alleged to come with gaming assist features to help with accessibility across a wider range of people. These include a viewfinder, black equalizer to improve brightness in dark locations, and refined brightness and contrast. According to the report, both the perfect for PS5 Inzone monitors and the Inzone gaming headsets are due to be revealed by the end of this week. It's unknown whether the previously rumored PS5 Pro Controller will also be announced at the same time. Sony is yet to make any comments on the rumors. And it wasn't until this moment, Joe, I realized that second paragraph was talking about actual video monitors. I thought they were still talking about headsets. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Viewfinder with headsets. How is that gonna work?
Ooh-wee.
Are we doing scouters like Dragon Ball Z?
Oh my god!
Just kind of flop down.
Honestly, if that was actually like a peripheral that came, like if that's what Google Glass was going to be, I would have been an early adopter.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I would be 100%. Those scanners.
Imagine if that was a thing with PlayStation where it goes down and it like. For me as a trophy hunter, it keeps track of your trophies there and tracking your trophies like in the scouter.
Or just like I just want to scan someone's power level, so I know like, oh, that's a person I with or not. You know.
But then I'll forget to take it off. I go look at the mirror and see how low power level I'm at.
Fair. That's fair. So okay, this is a lot of numbers, letters, hertz, all that jazz. I want to read the first question. This comes from Rick, the Welsh one. With the hardware announcement coming, are you expected to see PSVR 2 again? Or the Pro Controller? If either of these are getting release dates, will you be getting it on day and date? Why or why not? Kyle?
Oh man, this is tough.
Yeah.
Do we know if this is like a super long hardware show?
So that's the thing. So right now it looks like on a YouTube premiere video, like it's there. It's I think it's next week sometime, is a Sony Hardware Showcase. So pretty much what this is because it relates to PlayStation, and this is their now gaming peripheral set. Sony is looking at the ecosystem going, okay, so there's a Turtle Beach, there's a Razer, there's a Steel Series. You know, there's all these competitors out
Astro.
there. An Astro. Why aren't we in there? Because we're already in the gaming space, right, with software and hardware, and somewhat even in the peripheral side of things. Why can't we even go deeper into this by actually offering people a gaming peripheral alongside the hardware, alongside the software, and integrate it as such where it's like, yeah, your games, your PlayStation exclusive games will sound better or look better on a PlayStation or Sony screen or Sony headset. It's kind of their way of looking at it, which to me I think is genius.
Yeah.
You know?
They've also tried this before.
They have.
They have the PlayStation TV that had came with the 3D goggles. I think they advertise. I know. I know you have one. I'm not at all jealous. It's fine. Right, but like they were touted. I distinctly remember MotorStorm.
Yes.
Being like the reason to play it in 3D and being like the showpiece with it. I think MLB The Show actually was another one too, because you can play MLB The Show.
Yeah, it was a cool idea too.
Yeah.
Again, I got this monitor for $40 at GameStop. I remember that. But it was just like, hey, one person wears the 3D goggles, you see the whole screen, and then player 2 will put on the goggles and they'll see the whole screen through their perspective, which is a wild concept. Yeah,
wild concept. Yeah.
That said, I don't know the execution because I never put on those goggles.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, you're right. They have done this before. It hasn't panned out for them. But like, if this isn't a gimmick and this is actual hardware, I think that they can make a God's honest attempt, because like when I think of Sony, I actually do think of headphones. They make fantastic headphones. So like, to me, I'm like, yeah, that's a match made in heaven. All they need is a cheap little boom arm mic, and they got themselves a worthy competitor in that space. Like,
so are you saying they're giving up on these bad boys?
So that is another question. It's like,
this was what 2 years old?
Yeah.
This launched alongside PS5.
Yeah. The what is it?
I'm sorry. Audio only listeners. I'm holding up the Pulse 3D headsets.
Exactly. So I don't think they're throwing away those. Because they're solid headphones.
Yeah,
I think this is more like I don't think you're gonna see these headphones be branded PlayStation, H1.
Sure.
These are Sony H1. I bet they'll be able to be, played on PlayStation, played on Xbox, and played on whatever. I think this is more for them to say, brand synergy amongst all the companies that they own, if that makes any sense.
Because at the end of the day, I think we've spoken on it before. Like, PlayStation is a huge moneymaker for Sony. That PlayStation brand. So it would make sense to kind of tie it alongside with that.
Yeah.
As kind of like an add-on package kind of deal situation.
Yeah. You wanted to kind of marry the two companies, not to be plastered with the brand PlayStation, or else that's going to alienate, user, the Xbox user, PC user, or Nintendo user. So you want to say these are a Sony branded headphone, and Sony, again, synonymous with good audio. So I think that's a great step in the right direction. In terms of the monitors as well, I put it here in the notes because this is something when I was writing it down, I was like, this makes so much sense. PlayStation is entering the esports scene, right? They bought Evo. They want to dive into this arena. What better way of you don't need to partner with, Asus or Lenovo or LG or Samsung to get your monitors. You could just bring them all in-house. You could just have the Evo event be one big Sony promotion where it's like, here's all your PlayStation 5 banners everywhere, all the pro circuits using the H3 headsets, and they're playing on the, Inzone monitors. Like, That to me makes perfect sense for just business wise.
Absolutely.
So I actually think that this is a really genius move. That being said, though, Kyle, this makes a whole lot of sense in the business aspect. And, you know, we're two big business centric folks. Does any of what they're selling you here make you interested in actually trying out these headphones or actually going out there and buying one of these monitors?
I mean, I think you know, and our community knows, and people who listen, I don't play games with headphones. No, it's wild.
You make me sick.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So I could care less, honestly, about the headsets or the monitors for that matter, because I have an OLED TV.
Yeah.
You know, like it's on the older side. It's like 3-4 years old at this point, but like I'm not going to replace that with an Inzone monitor, because why would I? I just don't know. The thing that, you know, what I want to see from this is what Rick the Welsh one is hinting at. It's like, I would love to see what the Pro Controller is. I think why not just make this a high-end brand, high-end accessory kind of showcase for PlayStation. And the rumor of the Pro Controller, which we talked about I think a few weeks ago,
last week,
that would make sense on this stage. Even PSVR 2 at some point, because like I feel, why not go all in?
Yeah, so let's get right into Rick's question here. Are you expecting PSVR 2? No. I feel like if they had any chance of showing off PSVR 2's like announced date or price, it was going to be probably, 2 weeks ago's, AAA showcase. So I actually don't think it's there.
Okay.
The Pro Controller, I'm of two minds. Because, like, again, you don't want to brand it to PlayStation if you're Sony, because that's going to alienate some of your possible consumers on other ecosystems, right?
Sure.
At the same side, or the different side of the spectrum, it's like, okay, so maybe we get this God of War trailer, right? Or release date reveal. Does a Pro Controller announcement right afterwards really fit or make sense in that announcement?
Oh, wait, are you saying we would get God of War release date at this hardware show?
Yeah.
No way. No way.
I don't know, man. Like,
no way.
Here's the thing. When are we supposed to see this thing? Jason Schreier and the folks over at IGN and pretty much most mainline sources say at the end of the month, we know. Next week is the end of June. So, like, when are we supposed to get God of War's release
When is
date?
this hardware showcase?
Again, I believe it's next week, if I'm not mistaken.
It is next week?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Watch its release tomorrow. I'm like,
exactly. Hey, stay tuned to the new State of Play covering God of War Ragnarok in 2 hours.
And Inzone.
Yeah. I feel like I don't think they would put God of War at a hardware specific thing.
But I'm like,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Unless it's just like PlayStation being PlayStation and they're not talking to each other,
right.
And then they slip in the, this will play best with this Pro Controller and Ragnarok on November 11th or something like just kind of slip it in there because no one's proofreading. Kind of like a similar thing where who was it in Europe during the sales call? Was it Epic?
Yes.
And they were like, oh yeah, they had like the Avatar game logo they were talking about and the PlayStation 5 Pro and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like
those things that I'm pretty sure Sony didn't want to talk about yet, but they just kind of went off on their own kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just,
that's another thing. Are we going to see a PlayStation 5 Pro at this hardware?
No.
That's been rumored for a little bit, or like whatever redesign they're doing because of the chip shortage or whatnot.
Well, and rumor has it the chip shortage is being alleviated as we speak. So PS5s are going to be.
I know the PS Direct had a lot for people to buy today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't be able to buy one if I wanted.
I know, me neither. Wario64 said he joined the link like 20 minutes after it went live and was still able to get one.
Yeah.
So like that seems like it's a better fit than it has been. So who knows?
Who knows?
Seems.
That being said, the Pro Controller interests me a great deal. So, like, out of all these things, out of all the rumors and the speculation, like, I have, SteelSeries headphones. We're not sponsored by them, but, SteelSeries. Hi. And if not, they break super easy. I know, I love them. But, like, so I have no need for a $300 headset. Mm-hmm. But again, SteelSeries, you want to send me over a headset? Well.
Hey, show me why I need to be gaming with headsets.
I know, come on. We're the 4th most popular PlayStation podcast.
My address
it has to mean something,
P.O. Box.
But, so headset, maybe not. A new monitor, though? Like, I am actually, ironically, in the market for a new monitor. I do like Sony panels a lot. So maybe that interests me so that the monitor could be used so that when I'm streaming, I could just, have an easier experience there. And the Samsung could then take over it's going strong at like TV. 10 plus years PlayStation TV as my second monitor. Uh-huh. So, for me, that's what I kind of see the most use for me as a daily driver would probably be the monitor. But even then, it's like, show me the price point.
Yeah.
The thing that has me most excited is that Pro Controller. Whatever flappy panels is there, because I like the idea of the Elite controller from Xbox. But, and I hear it from my Xbox buddies, and I've had the experience. Those controllers are not for its build quality worth that $200. So for PlayStation, it's like you have to have solved that analog drift problem in this controller. And if you haven't, I would not recommend anybody buy it. Mm-hmm. So like there are still questions I have about that Pro Controller and what's being put in it. But that would be the thing that would have me day and date, because I prefer to play my multiplayer games like my Fortnites on PlayStation. So that Pro Controller speaks to me as that multiplayer centric gamer.
Can I bring up something to your earlier point about them not having the Pro Controller here because it would alienate the other people out there?
Yeah.
With PlayStation's push to bring everything to PC, that would be a way to not alienate a huge fan base of it being. You'd be able to use it on your PC, no ifs, ands, or buts, or no dongles, no nothing. Like,
true.
And being highly, what's the word I'm looking for? Customizable.
Yeah.
And it can work with any PC game. You know what I mean? Like, and haptics with other PC games.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that would get me in the door for sure. I mean, Matt Kennedy writes in, the rumor Inzone Hardware. New headphones have me excited, but I'm more interested on your thoughts on the potential Pro Controller and gaming monitors. Oh, look at Matthew Kennedy, you're on it. And since we already answered his first part of his question A of like, what do you feel on their Pro Controller? He asked another part of this question of, my PlayStation is set up at a desk, so monitors are a must. The potential for a new Sony PlayStation monitor with exclusive features for PlayStation have me incredibly intrigued. How are your PlayStation 5 set up? Do you play off a television? Would you consider a new monitor from PlayStation? Their specs seem really clutch. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. And Kyle, I hope you are feeling better. Aww.
Thank you, Matt.
So I play off of, humble brag, an LG C1 55-inch for most of my gaming. But sometimes on the occasion where I have to use like my PC mic because it has the RTX voice, humble brag, so I can play with the AC on, I'll play on a monitor. And it sucks. Playing on a PlayStation 5 on a monitor is just not optimized well. So for me, again, that monitor actually comes in pretty clutch for me as well, but that price point scares me.
Yeah, mine is hooked up to my LG. I think it's a C9. Mm-hmm. I think it's the model right before yours. Ooh-wee. You have the new model. I do not.
Humble brag.
It's hooked up to there. Whenever I do stream here at my computer, I think these are Asus's monitors. Yeah. They do the job, but like I find myself actually kind of the same way I am with other games and other platforms like Nintendo or Xbox. Those meaning like they don't have trophies, so I don't feel invested in them. Yeah. I know it's a silly thing, but I don't want to invest in a story heavy visual game on the monitor when I'd rather play it on my OLED.
I actually 100% agree. It's like I want
rather
the
get the
most
full
crisp
experience. Yeah, I don't want to play any second of that on a non-OLED screen on my TV because I love it so much. It looks great. So that is, if these monitors can somewhat hit that at like it's probably not going to be cheap, but like at a decent price point,
Yeah.
I'd be interested, but I'm not going to rush out the door to get one day one.
Same. Now, Cypher Primus writes in, do you think we'll see the PSVR 2 hardware again this year? We've seen games, but we still haven't seen more of the hardware. Maybe towards the end of the year, because this thing ain't coming out this year. Maybe either maybe in like November, or maybe they do something like the Switch where it's like, we're announcing it here in June, it's ready in February, and get your pre-orders when you can type of thing. That's what I kind of think is what we'll see from the PSVR 2.
I would love to see it again this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we will.
Okay.
Unless it's like a Game Awards kind of thing around that time.
All right. Excellent.
Of like the date and whatnot.
Yeah. Now, Kyle, enough about this hardware speculation. Okay. As I answer the door because someone's knocking, I want you to read the next story on the list, good sir.
You got it. Andy Robinson over at VGC writes, PlayStation is the latest company to confirm it won't attend Gamescom. Also, listeners, while Joe is answering the door, please remember to tweet at Joe. Joe loves sweet num-nums for a chance to win $100 in PSN money. Don't forget. Comment in the video version as well. I love you very much. Let's make Joe uncomfortable. Anyways, back to the story from Andy Robinson at VGC. PlayStation is the latest company to confirm it won't attend Gamescom. In a statement issued to German publication Gameswirtschaft, a spokesperson for the PlayStation firm confirmed it would not attend this year's event, which is due to take place in August and will be its first in-person show since the pandemic. Other companies, including Nintendo, Activision Blizzard, and Take-Two Interactive have said they will not attend Gamescom's return. Gamescom's organizers claim that over 250 companies will attend this year's event, but at the time of writing, only a handful of major publishers, including Bandai Namco, THQ Nordic, and Koch Media, have publicly confirmed. This is a me thing. Whenever I see Koch Media, I think it's Cock Media.
You should have bleeped that. That would have been...
I have to get used to me having a bleep.
You have so much power now.
VGC understands that one issue is that many publishers have simply stopped planning pre-release game demos since the pandemic, such as those made available at events like Gamescom, and thus would have little to show at a big public show.
Okay, so it seems like PlayStation's reason as to not partaking in this year's Gamescom isn't like, oh, we're PlayStation and we can, do it ourselves. It does seem more of the route of, listen, we're finally seeing how the global situation has impacted the world, right? Or not the world, the gaming world. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing so many publishers, so many developers kind of put all their eggs into actually making the game where they don't have enough time to get teams, organized teams to make that vertical slice. That being said, Kyle, what are your thoughts on PlayStation stepping out of Gamescom? Whether it's because they can't put demos on the floor or not, does this lend credence to what you've been saying for a while, that we're going to see another state of play soon? Because Showcase. Oh, you're saying Showcase. You're saying. Oh,
I've been on the Showcase train forever.
you're saying we're going to see a whole. They're not going to wait till September like they have the past few years.
No, I think we're going to see a Showcase soon.
Okay, and do you think this lends credence to that?
Yes and no. But if the Showcase still hits in September, that I believe is around the same time as Gamescom. Gamescom's what, August?
Yeah, end of August.
End of August. So yeah, so it's. If they are going to be September is now when PlayStation shows their showcases off, then that would make even more sense for them not to be at Gamescom, just hold everything for their own thing. In addition to, I believe September was also Paris Games Week, which they haven't done in a very long time. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Really but yeah, I think that leads more credence to September being the big PlayStation Showcase, even though I truly do think we're going to get one sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Is this a bummer? Not as much as I would be in
Is
the
it
past.
because it's in the European theater?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's because we're kind of used to PlayStation not showing up at big shows.
But doesn't that kind of bum me out?
Oh, it 100% does, Joe.
Because I feel
100% does.
I feel like I've 180'd where I'm like, you know, I think pre-pandemic I was like, yeah, put them all on a screen. I don't care about the audience. Just show me game. And now there's now I think I came around to it with the Summer Games Fest where I'm like, actually, I kind of do miss the pomp and circumstance. You know? I do miss the pageantry.
Give me the orchestra and that lady singing the God of War theme before it's unveiled.
Bring, you know what?
Give me the freakers from Days Gone hanging from a ceiling.
Bring back Flute Guy. Play. I miss him.
Yeah,
I miss him. I took advantage of what we had with the tent. But no, like for me, I'm missing those events. So part of me is like, yeah, this is a bummer. The other part is like, Joe, let's remember we're still not out of this yet. And like a person legit died at PAX of COVID.
Yep.
So like, okay, I understand maybe big crowds right now, maybe not be, it isn't the conducive thing to make a good show. Absolutely. Maybe we want to hold off a couple more months. And at the same exact time, we're seeing how COVID's had the effect on production because nobody has demos ready for this event. So it's like, why would we even go if we don't have really anything to show? But I'll end on this point right here. Kyle.
Joe.
You're right. I think this is a state of play. Whatever's happening soon is a state of play. I think whatever happens in September is future game showcase. That's PlayStation's thing. That's for future games. That's for far away, right?
That's for the Legend of Dragoon remake from Bluepoint.
Exactly. That's for my Bloodborne Director's Cut. Please, for the love of God. Please, for the love of God. I will pay the $70, whatever you want me to do. You want blood? I will give you my own. But
is that what they're waiting for? Just people to send them their blood from Bloodborne?
I mean,
Joe will go to the blood bank now.
Right now. You get free cookies for doing that. Free. Ooh-wee. But like, I do think this is a state of play where it's here are the games that are coming out this holiday because we have Hogwarts Legacy, we got Gotham Knights, we got oh my god, what is Marvel Midnight Sun, right? Forspoken, we got to see for the fifth time.
Well, that's the thing, we haven't seen it since the delay, and the last time we saw it had a bit of an okay showing, I think, for the general consensus of seeing that.
Yeah.
So like I think they need to show that off again if it's still hitting this year.
Sure.
And give us a reason to buy it. I mean, I am, but like I
yeah,
it needs to be shown off if it's a PlayStation exclusive game coming out this year.
Yeah.
They need to show it off a little bit. Yeah.
And also like Call of Duty is still under the PlayStation marketing for right now. So they do have games that they need to show off. Those marketing agreements, those hands need to be shook and those deals have been made. So you do need a showcase to show what's coming in the next 5 months. But, I think Pio said it on Twitter the best. He's just like, I kind of miss the PlayStation that would hype you up a little bit. Because like this PlayStation where it's like, we're never going to talk to you almost ever.
Yeah.
Is wearing thin on me. Because you have so many of these great games out in the next 6 months. Why wouldn't you want to talk about them? So I do think we're going to get something soon that's going to showcase games in the next 6 months. And you're going to have your showcase in September where it's going to be like, here's, I don't know, we're skipping Spider-Man 2. We're going straight to 3, right?
Here's that very long rumored Uncharted 5 or whatever it is.
Exactly. Here's that mystery game that Studio Malaysia's been working on. Here's Fire Sprite's game. Here's
Firewalk and oh my god. Demolition? No.
Deviation.
Deviation. Yeah. Here's this multiplayer game that we've been working on for years at this point.
Exactly. So like you have all these, you got 19 studios. They're all been cooking up stuff.
Yeah.
they're ready to show some things.
Here's another 3 games from Insomniac.
Exactly. It's not like,
that's another thing. Spider-Man 2 is next year.
yes.
Well, like, I want to see more of that. If it's next year, show it to us.
Absolutely. So for me, that's what I'm kind of like thinking. It's like, you got to start. The engines have to be revving at this point, one would assume.
Yeah.
But like we even saw it with the Xbox Showcase. Not to like downplay the Xbox Showcase. I thought it was good.
Sure.
But like even there they didn't have like your Fables, your oh my god, your State of
Perfect
Decays,
Dark,
your Perfect Darks. Yeah, like there was no Gears, and as a Gears fan, that bummed me out. Not even the GoldenEye that we know's there. We see the achievement list. So like, you know, I think we also have to put that realistic lens on it as well. But
absolutely. Yeah.
That said, Kyle, listen, we got a lot of weeb stuff to talk about.
Before we get into the weebs.
Yeah.
See what I did there? See what I did?
Oh. I like that. That's a new segment.
Next year, can we just briefly talk about it?
Sure.
Next year's going to be nuts for games.
Absolutely.
Like, this year's pretty stacked already.
Mm-hmm.
But next year, like, Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh my god.
Forza Motorsport, whatever number it is.
Starfield, like, Redfall.
Starfield, yeah. There's like
people have yelled at me because I'm like, I'm not excited for Starfield. They're like,
I'm really not either. Sorry. Like they're next year's going to be tough for end of the year game thing. Oh, Redfall's real good.
Oh yeah,
real good.
God damn, Arcane. Arcane just knows. Arcane just knows level design. Oh, so good. Goddamn Deathloop. Xbox folks, when you play Deathloop and you pretended to hate it a year ago, you're gonna really actually love it when you actually get it.
It's exactly like if anyone actually played Death Stranding, they loved it.
Exactly. You know, real talk. I know we're getting way off.
I'm really sick and tired of people saying that that's a bad game.
That probably has one of the best soundtracks in a video game.
Hands down. When you're walking through the snow.
Yep.
My God. Or walking back home, like tears.
Yeah. Churches. That's the reason why I know that band and I love them so much.
Yeah. So stop hating on Death Stranding.
Yeah. It's a good game. We get it. It's weird, okay?
Yeah.
He's got a little baby container. We get it. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Kyle, let's get into the weebs.
Yeah, let's get in the weebs. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. This write-up comes from Gamatsu. Square Enix has announced Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on Steam. It is a remaster of the PSP title Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. It will launch this winter.
Rigo writes in, do you guys think that Crisis Core Reunion will change the story to be in par with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
Yes, in some ways.
Okay.
I have not played the original Crisis Core. It's one of my gaps in my Final Fantasy fandom. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a PSP around that time, and it just kind of like, that's the only way I feel like I could have played that game without emulating it somehow.
Kyle, do you think I should get a PSP?
I've been thinking about it because I want to play Star Ocean Second Story, and that PSP port is fantastic.
I mean, should we just wait for the PlayStation Collection to add that in?
Yes. I would wait a little bit to see, because we know that Siphon Filter game, the PSP Dark Mirror, I think, was rated.
It's just like,
I have hope.
Yeah, it's like maybe like that's something that I could play at work for a little bit, like put away in my pocket.
Yeah.
You know? Like I saw there was a person at like Coachella that took like pictures with a PlayStation Vita. Like I could be that guy. Or there was like a guy on a beach with a Game Boy. Like 2022, year of our Lord, Grogu. This guy played
bringing a DS to a concert to take pictures.
Yeah. So
or iPads if you're one of those people.
Oh my God, you're the worst. If you bring an iPad to a concert, you deserve to have that iPad taken from you and then just whacked with.
Yeah, that iPad should be crowd surfed and then promptly chucked past the barricade.
I want a wall of death, but like wall of iPad. So you do think it'll be changed a little bit, this Crisis?
A little bit. From what I know about that game is super important, obviously, for the overall understanding of Final Fantasy VII. But since Remake Part 1, it's changing things up a bit without going to full spoiler territory, because please play that game before the Rebirth comes out. I think the ending of this Reunion remaster will be a little bit different, and kind of it's kind of that thing where I'm blanking on a show that has done this very recently, but like at the end, all the characters will forget, and it's just like a new starting point.
Okay. So
you know what, like Spider-Man No Way Home,
right,
like very much a, all right, from here on out everyone forgets who you are, only one person knows. It is a new branching off part of the timeline type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kyle, I mean, I saw the, like, I hate that we boil it all down to graphics, but like graphically it didn't wow me.
Yeah, it's a remaster. It's a PSP
but it is
game.
It is a remaster of a PSP game. So let's keep that in check. Now, I haven't gotten any like pricing of Reunion. Just and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's out and I haven't seen it, but I've scourged. Is that scourged? I don't know. The internet. Scoured. There you go. The internet, and I've seen nothing of it. So, what do you think is an appropriate price point for Reunion? Is this something that you're interested in, that you'll be picking up day one?
Hands down, day one. No questions asked. Yeah. Since it's... Oh, this is tough.
Talk to me.
Since it's a remaster, I don't know if you can go the full $70.
Okay.
And I don't think it will, especially since it's coming everywhere. Right. And there ain't no Switch games that are $70 just by themselves.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking, I'm going to say $40.
Okay. If it's 40 smackaroos, you got me. I am more interested in Final Fantasy now than I've ever have been. So I actually, like, looking at the gameplay, I was like, all right, actually, I'm down with this. I'll check this game out. So this is definitely a day one for me. And you're right, I don't think it'll be $70. But hey, you know what? Square surprised us before they do it again. They'll be like, we got to make up for those NFTs somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, we sold off all of our studios that were doing fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so next game from the Final Fantasy extravaganza.
Yeah. Also from this write-up is from Gamatsu.
Yep.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Square Enix hosted a 25th anniversary stream last week for Final Fantasy VII. The first big announcement of the evening came with the reveal that Crisis Core would be getting a remake due out this winter.
Sorry, that was me. I messed that up. Just continue.
You're fine. The drop the mic moment, however, came at the end of the short stream when a trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was shown. The sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake looks to push the meta-narrative of this remake project even further, and clues hidden in the trailer reveal that this project has always been bigger than just a remake. The only difference is that Square Enix has finally begun embracing a truth that in retrospect has always been the case. Set for 2023 for PS5. That is a little bit misleading.
Oh.
It just says winter.
Right.
Next winter. That could go all the way up to February 2024.
All right, fair enough.
Same thing with actually Crisis Core Reunion. It said this winter. It could be a next February thing.
Right. Okay. That gives them a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
So, Kyle.
Hi, Joe.
How are you?
Hi. Let me poke my head out of the weebs. Oh, man. First of all, a big shout out to Kevin Diaz and Kim Hawkins, who joined us for our watch along live react to this. I've watched that trailer so many damn times.
Yeah.
I am so excited. That looks like this you're not going to get this reference at all, but it looks like Sephiroth and Cloud doing the flashback mission in Nibelheim. That's got me very excited. And it looks like I watched, I think I watched the Easy Allies live react, and they were like, "Oh, it looks like it might be open world." Because there was a marker of like, hey, this is how far you have to go, and it looked way more open than anything in Remake because we were stuck in Midgar.
Right.
It's very exciting if Rebirth is open world, and because like once you're at a Midgar in the base game, it is open world. You can go wherever you want.
Oh,
In
wow.
that, obviously they kind of funnel you into the story points to move the story forward, but you can roam around and go to jungles and ride chocobos and go fight the Midgar Zolom. I don't know why you would, because that thing will kick your ass at that level. But yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. And
Nice.
like, obviously, you hear them talking about some characters dying, and like, what are you talking about? That's not happening.
Oh.
What do you mean you saw a vision of me dying? I won't say who, but like, it feels like they're just rewriting the story and giving us a new version, and I am okay with that.
All right. So actually, that's a great segue to Cloudside's question. Which Cloudside, of course, I had to throw you in there. You got a cloud icon.
Oh, of course.
Come on. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth made my not E3 Summer Games Fest season. A remake of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core was a cherry on the cake. How far do you think they'll deviate and add upon the original story in this part, as the trailer hints at a major plot change involving a character, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and what happens to them in one one thing that they altered, one of the big decisions. This is going to be a great year and half great year and a half for Final Fantasy fans. Jesus, I can't read. A major release every 6 months.
Yeah, he is 100% right. There, we are feasting.
Yeah,
we get Crisis Core this winter.
Oh,
then
wait,
we get Final.
You're buzzing.
I'm buzzing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you're not buzzing anymore?
Huh, that was weird.
Yeah.
We get Crisis Core this winter. We get Final Fantasy 16 next summer. And then we get Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth next winter.
Yeah.
That is, not to mention Forspoken, which is developed by a Final Fantasy team. Like, it is, we are feasting. But to Cloudside's question, I do think this is going to be all new stuff. Okay. I don't think we're going to hit the same story points. I think we are going to go to the same towns and whatnot, but things will be different. I hope we get flashbacks or like an alternate view, because there are some moments I would love to see in this new visual representation of this world.
Right.
But I fully expect end of Remake Part 1, they just were like, hey, forget everything you know. Everything is brand new from here on out.
Now, this is great because, you know, what your Final Fantasy is to my Star Wars, right?
Yes.
Where like you know nothing Jon Snow is Star Wars, exactly. And I know like nothing is Final Fantasy. So this is
red
great
means bad,
pretty much. Because for me, as part of the Star Wars fandom, any decision that ever happens ever, someone's fanfic did it better.
Sure.
And if you deviate from anything ever in a Star Wars, how dare you? Right? And we will threaten any actor or most of the actors until they get off of social media about it. So,
well, don't say we. You're not part of that.
I mean, I'm guilty by association, you know? I didn't think Rose was a great character. It wasn't the actress's fault.
That is fair. Yeah, I do loop you into the Souls community sometimes.
That's fair. So like, how do you think the Final Fantasy fans are reacting to, well, you're going to be changing a major plot points around? Like, to me, like, that is just like a Star Wars fan is going to threaten someone's life. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think the difference in being, I think they set up that expectation so well in Remake Part 1.
Okay.
The way that game ends, they pretty much tell you, like, the ending of Remake Part 1 does not happen in the first game.
Right.
So, like, they're already giving you new things in the first part, and then in this new part, it's going to be, like, bonkers. So I think the diehard fans know that is the case, and honestly, the people that want a faithful remake are going to get that with the Ever Crisis game, even though that is mobile only at this point, which makes me very, very sad, because that is like when I thought Final Fantasy VII Remake, that is what I envisioned because it looks beautiful. It looks like the old game, but just updated. And so like there is a remake for both camps.
Okay. Man, it seems like the Final Fantasy fans are just so well adjusted comparatively.
I know there's some really bad ones.
Like, absolutely.
Both.
So I'm excited for this, and it's cool because I know the main plot points of this game, but don't know how they happen, and so to see things change, I'm down with. Now, again, Final Fantasy VII, great game, not my game of the year, but the thing that's gotten me into Final Fantasy, and so seeing this, awesome on PlayStation 5 only, Rebirth.
Yeah.
On PC. No Xbox. That's when I saw some Xbox fans act like Star Wars fans for a second. I was like, how dare Square Enix not put this game on a platform that they never promised in the first place? But I saw a sticker at the end of a box that said, time exclusive deal ends on X date. But they said, hey, the other platform's PC. That was kind of telling to me, Kyle.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for a long time. All roads lead to Square.
All roads lead to Square.
Very paved.
And honestly, and I think Cam said this during the live react, and it was a very good point, even though he poo-pooed the Square acquisition, which I think is probably going to happen.
And I don't want it to happen either.
I don't either. Absolutely not. But he made a very good point of what if the entire Final Fantasy Remake 3-part series, which they also finally confirmed it's 3 parts.
Yeah.
And they're already in pre-production of the 3rd part, which makes me so happy that I will live to see the end of this game. That the exclusive rights are probably in place until all 3 are out.
Yeah.
And then once all 3 are out, then eventually they'll come over to Xbox.
And I think also when it comes to like production and what's happened globally, our good friend Ains, who is an old man over at Season Gaming, said it perfectly. He's like, maybe they just don't have the production right now to port it to other things.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things at play here, but just try to be rational, about it.
Xbox fans, you have 300+ hour RPGs that just got announced. Persona.
Yeah.
Be happy.
We never saw that coming. I'm happy for you guys because that game's great.
Yeah. I'm very happy that Persona is being able to be played everywhere at this point.
Absolutely. That said, Kyle, we got another big. This one's big. This one's a huge.
I did not know this. I didn't.
Huge piece of news.
Ali Welsh over at Polygon writes, Final Fantasy 16 won't be an open world game. Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida is a busy man. He's also the producer and director of the hit online entry in the series, Final Fantasy 14. Yoshida has shed a little more light on Final Fantasy 16 and the departures it will make from other recent Final Fantasy games. Most significant is that it will not follow Final Fantasy 15 in using an open world design. Yoshida told IGN that while inspired by the open world games that dominate big budget single player gaming at the moment, he wanted to use smaller sections of more varied locations to convey the game's epic scope. Quote, yes, you'll find inspiration from recent AAA open world RPGs, he said. However, to bring a story that feels like it spans an entire globe and beyond, we decided to avoid an open world design that limits us to a single open world space, and instead focus on an independent area-based game design that can give players a better feel of a truly global scale, end quote. He also explained that while Final Fantasy XVI would feature the series' traditional party of companions would be AI controlled, and the player would remain focused on the protagonist, Clive. Quote, we didn't want to overwhelm users in our newest trailer, so we focused solely on Clive's battles, Yoshida said. That said, for most of his journey, Clive will be accompanied by one or more companions. These companions will participate in battle, as well as trade banter with Clive. That said, the party members will be AI-driven so as to allow players to focus solely on controlling Clive, end quote. Another interesting combat tidbit fed to Game Informer is that when the game's giant-sized icon summons face off against each other, their battles will vary widely in genre. Yoshida noted, quote, "The overall game design of these icon versus icon battles, however, is meant to be unique, and in fact, we don't actually use the same exact system twice. Each battle is completely unique in its playstyle, and so we're doing something that's kind of crazy. For example, if you have icon A versus icon B, that battle will be reminiscent of a 3D shooter. Whereas another icon versus a different icon, it's more like a pro wrestling match. And then maybe even a third with one icon versus another icon will transform an entire area into a battlefield," unquote. Speaking on the game's story, Yoshida revealed to GameSpot that it will likely be the first mainline Final Fantasy game to receive a mature rating due to the, quote, "difficult adult themes," unquote, his team wants to tackle.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of information. I thank you for reading it. And I'm honestly, out of all the projects that I'm excited for, Final Fantasy 16 is it. Because everything that they're saying, I am 100% on board with. So first and foremost, this is the first Final Fantasy with a mature rating. Mainline.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're moving away from that T rating. They're going straight to M. And it's not like, oh, this guy gets to see blood and guts and boobies. It's more like, yeah, you're able to tackle more heavier, maybe more serious themes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. The icon fights, those big monstrosities that we saw in the trailer, they were like, oh, this isn't a cutscene. You're actually doing this. This is wild. I like it where it's just like, no, like when these icons fight, it's totally different like than what we're used to in this game. It could be a third-person shooter or 3D shooter. It could be like a pro wrestling match. Like these things are giant creatures. So like they're going to be playing differently. Their physics are going to be different. So it's an all-around just different way of play. That has me excited. And then the fact that this isn't open world. Because to me, Kyle, my worry, it's also with Rebirth, is that like Final Fantasy 15 didn't hit with me because I felt like that world was so barren because of its open world. And so by just saying, hey, no, we're going to make these things that are going to be a little bit smaller in scope, and having just the surface level understanding of Final Fantasy 14 that I have is, hey, listen, we're going to have these kind of modular setups when it comes to like the level design where it's like, here's these little hallways, but they're wide. And then here's these huge arenas that you're going to be fighting in. That to me is way more appealing than an open world game because there just are so many at the moment where I am open world fatigued. Like after Elden Ring, after Horizon, those two huge third person, open world games, I'm like, I'm kind of out. So to see that this is a change of pace, and if you want that open world game, that's Rebirth. And if you want the more linear aspect, it's 16. That actually has me so excited. So all the news here that I'm getting, has me really excited for 16 that I didn't think I would be. So where do you land on all this news, Kyle?
Let's start with the pros, the things I'm excited about.
Okay.
Because there are some things that I'm not truly a huge fan of yet.
All right.
I'm with you on the corridors and the hallways and not being a gigantic open world. Because, yeah, that's why I haven't gone back to 15. Because, yeah, the world was kind of barren. And it wasn't very exciting to explore. So I'm happy they kind of are going back to... this might take me off the Final Fantasy fandom board, so that I'm clinging on to whenever I say 8 was one of my favorites. I love Final Fantasy 13. Mm-hmm. I love Lightning and the crew there. That battle system is awesome. 13 is very much hallway into big open areas, and then you get into smaller, very like funneling you to a certain point.
Right.
For a lot of that game. And I dug that a lot. So if it's like that, I'm in. The other thing that I'm big on, I love that it's going to be mature rating because, yeah, I want them to tell like an actual story. Most Final Fantasy fans have grown up with Final Fantasy. They are grown as adults at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like we can handle that kind of storytelling in our fantasy RPG games.
Okay.
So I'm happy that they're growing that way. I'm a little here are the things I'm not jazzed about.
All right.
I don't love that I'm only focusing on Clive. I am not a fan of only controlling this one character and the other party members are going to do whatever they want to do. I understand that I'll be able to probably program what they can do. Similar to 13, the paradigm system, you can give your teammates what roles they are and they kind of go off. But even in there, you can switch between the two or the three. Even with Remake Part 1, like you can switch between the characters and use them as you see fit.
Yeah.
But this one sounds like, no, you are just going to be Clive. I'm a little bummed by that.
Okay.
I'm also, the icon versus icon battles, I don't know how I feel about them.
All right.
They
you don't
feel
like a big giant kaiju fight?
I do, but it feels very gimmicky. I don't want to play that as in my Final Fantasy.
Okay.
I'd rather just the humans or whatever they are versus the monsters. I don't want to be the gigantic monster and fight another gigantic monster. I know I'm probably in the minority there, but it needs to feel fun to play. And I don't know how you do these without it being a QTE battle.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So like to me, it's interesting because we're seeing two mainline Final Fantasies kind of drift away a bit from the turn-based combat that made them so popular and synonymous with that brand. And though Final Fantasy VII has, a hybrid-esque model, Final Fantasy 16 is an action game, man.
Yeah. I will say though, and I have not played a second of 14. I trust Naoki Yoshida wholeheartedly. Because everyone loves 14. It is killing it. It is running on all cylinders. He knows what makes a good RPG.
Mm-hmm. And he knows that universe.
He knows that universe. So I put all my faith in him, and I'm excited for whatever 16 is at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really does seem like they're assembling an all-star cast.
Yes, absolutely.
JRPG, Japanese developers.
I think even the combat designer also worked on Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
So, like, wow. That's stylish combat. Like, I could be kind of in on that.
Yeah. All this has me excited. We got into the weeb section, y'all. And you know what? We came out actually kind of thrilled. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Got to check for ticks.
I know. What would we call that in while we're in the weebs?
Ooh, let me think about it.
Yeah, it could be offensive. So you know what? While we're thinking about it, let's go into the next and the final big story of the night, sir.
Ed Nightingale over at Nightingale. What?
Yeah, that's a badass last name.
Yeah, but over at Eurogamer, the site isn't called Nightingale. It's fine. Yeah. Again, Ron Burgundy, Anchorman. I read what Joe puts on the screen. Sony reportedly discontinuing PS Plus retail cards. Sony is reportedly discontinuing PS Plus retail cards from stores ahead of the launch of its revamped subscription service. The cards have been available to top up PS Plus membership for 1, 3, or 12 months, but as spotted by Polish site lowsigir.pl, they're no longer available. The move coincides with the launch of Sony's new subscription service this week, which has multiple price tiers, making the old retail cards somewhat obsolete. In the UK, VGC spotted that the retail cards are still being sold at Currys, but are no longer available at Amazon, Game, Smiths, or Argos. Instead, they're only offering PSN Store gift cards. On the PlayStation website, the PS Plus gift cards are still listed, but the link instead takes users to PlayStation Store gift cards. It's unclear yet what the future holds for retail cards. Will Sony release new PS Plus retail cards pertaining to each tier, or will existing PSN Store cards be valid?
This is where things get a little confusing and a little lame. Oh, man, come on, don't do this.
Yeah, don't use the new charge for PS Plus service from my PlayStation wallet. That's boring.
Yeah. To me,
how am I going to play all these cheap platinums and buy them? Don't take them away from that.
I mean, like for like Game Pass, for example. I'm sorry I said the G word. So sorry.
Oh,
but like they have like Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate.
Dare you?
Yes, you got it. Oh my god, that does sound great. That's audibly nice. So that's what that feels like. Like it is like, all right, you can't have like essential, premium, like on a shelf that could confuse customers. Like, what is this? But at the same exact time, like, you put that system out there. So, like, this kind of speaks volumes to maybe your system isn't as coherent as you'd want it to be. At the same exact time, it does feel like PlayStation just wants your money.
Yeah.
And they're just like cutting out GameStop. They're cutting out, the middleman, as it were. And just like, no, if you're dealing with this, you're dealing it through it solely with us.
It's like the amusement parks who you can't use cards or cash. You have to use their own paying service and put all your money on their thing and only use that thing while you're at the park.
It's like every time that there's like a Greek feast in your town, you're like, here's $10. Here's 10 tickets. And you're like, what? What do these 10 tickets? Why can't I just use real dollars? They're like, no. Here's 50 tickets, and the Zeppelis cost 15. You're like, what the hell is this? Bizarro. Like, I just entered into a new economy I never knew existed. Like a mini country within a state, within a county. What is going on here?
And then you're scheming on buying the tickets on Amazon to kind of like make sure they match color for the next year.
Exactly. So that's a bummer. I like, none of this news excites me. I kind of find it a little irritating that it seems like Microsoft's embracing retail while Sony is just so excited to leave it. And I'm just sitting here as a PlayStation fan going, I can't even buy something from the PlayStation Direct because I always get hit with an error from you. Like, they're eliminating options in which I can buy stuff from them. That's annoying.
Yeah, and honestly, this gives me even more reason to worry about me being a physical only person. Because if they're even taking physical cards out of retail stores and they're just going to be a digital only thing, that's the only way you're going to be able to get those codes.
That sucks.
Or be able to re-up them again.
Yeah. I don't like any of this. I get that they're trying to make it more simplistic because no matter what, whether you're going to like Stop and Shop or GameStop, you are buying the cards to pay for these the monthly stuff. But like, even then, it's just like, just have them in the store. Like, why can't it just be on one sleeve of a gondola and you see it and you're like, oh, okay, I want premium. And you just like, there's something simple on the back that tells you what you get with it. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a grouchy old man.
Really quick sidebar.
Sure.
As a former retail worker, did you ever laugh at the people trying to steal gift cards that were on the floor?
Never would stop them.
Never. Them seeing like, oh, this is a $500 gift card, and then they go to steal it. No, no, you have to load it first. There's no money on it right now.
My one horror story working at GameStop, real fast. A kid straight up ran headfirst into the gondola and spilled hundreds
of cards,
probably thousands because there's so many, just on the floor during holiday. And I died a little bit inside. Yeah, I wanted to kick a child. I couldn't. But damn, was I tempted. M9 Prime writes in, with PlayStation Plus Premium game trials, I recently tried Ali World. While playing the trial, I earned trophies in the game. Do you think this was left in on purpose to get people to buy the game so that they complete the trophy list?
100,000% yes.
I think they were like, this is harder to do. It's like this is a good problem we won't solve. Like, they created a problem that benefits them.
I also think the game trial is literally the full game just cut off at a certain point.
Exactly. So
it's not a slice of life taken out and put in as a demo. You are playing the full game. It's just locked at a certain point.
And so they're like, oh crap, people are earning trophies. That shouldn't probably be a thing. And then the producer on the other end goes, no, that's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
And then he high-fived his exec boss, Yep. So, yeah. Again, this retail cards, I'm a little bit mixed about, a little hanging on negative, but that Premium Plus scheme.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. That's genius.
Really, another really quick sidebar. Yeah. One of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, and I don't remember his name. He tries to 100% Steam achieve RE games before the time limit of refunding the game. So he will go through, do 100% achievements in the game, and then get his refund for the game.
Oh my God.
They are fascinating.
Wow.
They're really fun to watch.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a look at that. Screwing over the developer. I think that's probably your most toxic trait, Kyle. It's probably the closest
I don't do it. I watch it. What are you talking about?
I know. It's kind of like you're watching a crime when you're not calling the police. That's a Seinfeld-esque skit right there.
Okay, then everyone who drives on the freeway and rubbernecks and looks at a car crash and keeps going, they're also guilty.
Yes.
And screw those people.
But we also do. It's just human habit. We just always have to.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for Flash News. Gotta run fast. These are fast ones. Gotta run. Fall Guys free-to-play launch, also on Switch and Xbox launch. Getting some weird bugs and crashes. Shout out to my boy Ains, who started playing Fall Guys on Xbox because he's a fanboy. And he was getting PlayStation prompts. So it's like press X or press circle.
Yeah.
That's funny. And yeah, like the game, just like when it launched on PlayStation, on PlayStation Plus, you're fighting the menu boss constantly. So it's awesome to see that's getting a huge influx of new players. That said, Nathan writes in, question for the Nintendo Nook / Achievement Hall. How great is having Fall Guys everywhere now? Glad it's free to play and everywhere available.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome for that team. That team deserves every ounce of love.
Reporting from the Nintendo Nook. Yeah, no, this is great. And Yeah, get back to work. Put less content in Mario Strikers. Less! We have fun here! We make memories!
I have the prototype here.
I'm sorry. Jared,
for the next VR.
Get in that goddamn toad suit. Go to Super Nintendo Land. You're putting those goddamn smiles on those kids' faces. You hear me? You hear me? Sorry.
I have the new VR prototype. Labo.
He got very, very violent, very fast, huh? Nintendo Nook. New listeners, that's our segment. Nintendo Nook is just a Nintendo executive yelling about how happy it is here. And they make dreams.
Yeah, it's great.
Trust me, it's a funny bit.
It's great for Mediatonic. They deserve all the love they can get because that game is super special. And I love seeing Nathan like on TikTok still streaming Fall Guys stuff.
Hell yeah.
It's cool.
Jane Foster.
I need to get back. To get back in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I miss it.
Do you have the itch?
A little bit.
I saw that you could get the Ezio thing if you sign up for their battle pass. Like you get an Ezio Assassin's Creed outfit. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to re-download this game, huh?
I mean, I think is it the Master Chief helmet thing too?
Yeah, you can make a little. They actually did like a little Master Chief like Halo 3, but Fall Guys-ified trailer, and I enjoyed that.
Oh,
really.
That's cool.
Cool. Jane Foster, her Thor drops in Avengers sometime soon, so be excited for that. Luke lore. PlayStation's mid-year deal sale. A lot of awesome games here on sale. Sekiro is the one headlining it, is on the thumbnail. Just go out there, buy Sekiro. Yes, it's hard as all hell, but God, is it one of the most rewarding platinums I've ever gotten.
I love how full circle you've come on that game.
It's really, it is From Software's best action game. Action.
Oh, look at this show. I'm just scrolling through. There's way too many games. We're not gonna go through them all.
A lot. Go check it out.
They have Star Wars Republic Commando as part of the sale.
Ooh, that's
I know
awesome.
You love that.
Yep,
Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast is part of that sale.
So good.
Yeah. A lot of really great things here.
Hey, Kyle, question. Are you holding on to something?
I sure am.
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals headed to the PlayStation storefront. This week, on June 12th, Weapon Blocks on PlayStation 5 and PS4. June 25th, Broken Mind on PS4. Fall Guys again on PS5. Again, you get to earn a new trophy list as well. Milky Way Prince. It
auto pops, by the way.
Ooh, okay. Maybe I'll jump back in. Milky Way Prince, The Vampire Star on PlayStation 5 and PS4. Shadowrun Trilogy on PS5 and PS4. King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition Somehow, I doubt that's the final edition. Comes out on PlayStation 4. June 22nd, Drunken Fist 2 Zombie Hangover on PlayStation 5 and PS4. Fire Girl Hack and Splash Rescue DX on PS5 and PS4. You don't need to look up that game, Kyle. Sadly, I think I already know what that game is. Fire Girl. That is we entered into the strange part of the weeps.
That game is actually pretty exciting. I'm very excited to play that.
Oh, okay. It's not like the Weeboo adventure.
It is not what you think it is.
Oh, wow, okay. A redo on PS4. Snooker Nation Championship on PS5. Somehow I feel like I committed a hate crime by saying that.
Why did I get Janet Jackson's song stuck in my head when he said Snooker Nation?
I'm just thinking a land full of Snookies.
Oh, no one wants that.
Why pizza on PS5, PS4? Slight tangent here. Everybody, stop posting your pictures of pizza on Twitter. I will demean you.
Oh my God.
Your pizzas aren't good.
I rarely side with Joe when he's being mean on the internet. I'm with Joe on this one. Those
stop.
pizzas are not great.
Dash, I love you. Friend of the show. Can't wait to have you back. You put up another Domino's pizza and insult the name of pizza on Twitter again, you're on notice. Luke Lore, your pizza crust is sad. It's on Prozac. That's how depressed that pizza is. You come to New York. You come to New Jersey.
Yes.
I'll even take Connecticut to get a good slice. But the home of the pizza is New York City. That's just a fact. June 23rd. Deliver Us the Moon on PlayStation 5 and PS4.
Ooh.
Deliver them pizza from New York.
Also part of the premium tier, by the way.
Oh, nice. Sonic Origins on PS5 and PS4. June 24th. AI, The Somnium Files. Nirvana Initiative on PS4.
You killed it.
Yes,
nice.
You ended with a question mark. You're always going to end strong. Capcom Fighting Collection on PS4. Madison on PS5 and PS4. Pocky and Rocky Reshrined on PS4. Those are the games coming to PlayStation.
Yes, and as a reminder, next week after we record the main show, we are recording Patreon exclusive Road to Greatness, where we do a deep dive in games and talk about them. This new episode that we're doing next week, I don't know why I'm stumbling. The community game, as voted on Twitter and in Discord, we're playing Ape Escape. So if you have the premium membership in PS Plus, download it, play it over the weekend. We will be tweeting out for questions on that game for us to answer and talk about on the show. So let's play a PS1 classic. I believe it's one of the first games to take advantage of the DualShock analog thumbsticks, because you needed them for this game.
Yeah.
You cannot play it without them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it would be very cool to kind of go back and play it, for me for the first time, for Joe for the first time. Yep. Yeah, so play that game over the weekend.
Always as a kid, when I looked at Ape Escape, I was like, I'd rather not. Now the day's finally come, and I rather have to. All right, guys, it's time for our favorite segment, the Sony Pony Express. Yeah! That's right, cowboy. All right. So you can send your comments, your questions over to the trophy room via the Discord server, which link in the description, or you can send your questions over to us at PS Trophy Room, and we'll answer them here on the show. My throat is hoarse.
Yeah, I am faded.
All right, Strubles and Bits writes in. You ready for this, Kyle? Have
Ready.
you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Mm-hmm.
With the mini resurgence of the arcade beat-em-ups like Streets of Rage 4 and TMNT's Shredder's Revenge, what's the next arcade brawler you guys want to see revitalized, and why is it X-Men? There is a new X-Men animated show coming, so it just seems right. Strubles and Bits, someone award this man a Nobel Prize. I feel like he's earned it. Kyle, I played TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
And did I hype it up too much, or was I exactly correct?
Oh my God. There's never, this game got me out of my gaming funk instantaneously.
Yeah,
this is literally my Super Nintendo game come to life.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. I'm headed to the platinum. I am 76% of the way there.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I suggest, Kyle, there's a way to cheese the shredder portion. So like
Oh,
not get
I
hit by
gotta look that
Shredder.
up.
Yeah. But you gotta play like now, like while there's people
before it gets
online.
patched.
Yeah. Before it gets patched, get on it. You don't want a Kina situation on your hands. That said, we do have to beat the game on hard.
Okay.
You think we could do it?
In story or on arcade?
On arcade.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we might need to get some good.
That's gonna be tough.
We need to get some good players because I'm quite shit.
Yeah. Same.
So that one will be the difficult one. But like beating it on easy or like beating it without losing a life, like you just play it on easy, you do that.
Yeah. And leveling up at all the characters to level 10 is easy.
Easy.
You don't even have to do every challenge in story mode to do that. Yeah.
But yeah, new X-Men game. That's it. That's all I want.
That is a correct answer. However, I'm going to throw in there a new Simpsons game. That Simpsons arcade game, as a non like Simpsons fan,
same.
I that arcade game was very good.
Yeah. All right. Shrubbles and bits.
But that's
you're a man of culture.
X-Men's Why I Love Colossus, and he's one of my favorite X-Men. Is because of that game.
Savoy Prime writes in, now that Eidos Montreal has a supportive group backing them, which do you think will possibly get first? A remake of the first Deus Ex or another Adam Jensen story arc? Personally, I'm cool with either one as long as they both happen eventually. I think you're going to see... I think the easiest one is a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So if they go back to Deus Ex, I think they're going to do both games like PS5 enhanced. And that's how they'll sell it to you, like remastered. And then throw in like the original Deus Ex on there as well, but like just barely touched up.
I think they do a full remake on the first one.
Okay.
Because the first one was PS2?
I believe so, yeah.
It's time.
Okay.
I don't know if I honestly can't go back to the last Deus Ex game because that came out in a very sad time in my life. So I will always equate that to that. So I will never play that game.
Fair enough.
But I think a remake of the original, it's about damn time.
All right.
Yeah, I can see it.
There you go. Jarelish writes in, hey, Kyle, Joseph, what's up? This might be a difficult question.
Oh, no.
I would like you to know, how have you two grown as gamers in the last year? What have you two played that has stretched or challenged your mindset? I'm not talking about difficulty level, rather than rather concepts and ideas. What has blown your mind or made you pause to think in the last year? Challenge me as a gamer in the way I think. I think roguelites, implementing failure as part of a gameplay mechanic, is such a unique thing that it never crossed my mind until I played, Returnal, and then playing again in Hades, where it's just like, no, dying's a mechanic. This is a thing, something that we usually punish. It's actually somewhat of like this weird reward. And it kind of also goes into why I love like Soulsborne games so much, where it's like, at a certain point, it's on you. And roguelites are like, at a certain point, this is on you. And that's where I think I've grown as a gamer, where it's like, it's on me. And I like that. I like the challenge, and I like that learning opportunity. And I think roguelites have expanded that as well for me.
What I learned is I can't game as much as I want because I have a job.
That too.
That sucks. But in all honesty, Elden Ring, like, I know I talk crap about it just for fun.
Embrace it, Kyle.
It blew my mind. And the way it, specifically to answer Jealous's question, it made me pay attention to the environment more. Of what is the environment telling me to do and where to go next and where to explore. Because in most open world games, I would just go to a wall and do a loop just so I could shade in that part of the map.
Yeah.
But with Elden Ring, you really just any sort of like crevice could be a new cave. Who? It could be, a new tomb with a boss in it, or like
non-procedurally generated. Someone worked at it by hand to put it in there.
Exactly. They meticulously. I very clearly remember my mind being blown at the Moog optional boss.
Yeah.
In that tomb, that cave, whatever, because you have to go down a giant crevasse.
Oh, use it.
Shaft, I don't know, whatever. But you have to like.
That's a boy's like winking and nod, Kyle. You've been watching too much.
That is a like you have to hop between like tombstones on the way down, and they are so precise. They are there exactly where they need to be.
Yeah.
If they're an inch or millimeter off, you're falling and you're dying, and you have to redo the whole thing over again. So that is the part that I really learned to love. And yes, at face value, I hate it because it's frustrating when I don't jump the right way. But I just and now that I'm a few months away from it, am so genuinely impressed and astonished by what they pulled off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Horizon so much.
I have to get back to it.
But goddamn, Elden Ring.
Oh, did you notice
just rewrote the goddamn book? What's that?
Did you notice what I held up though when I held on to something?
Yeah.
My strategy guide for Forbidden West finally came in.
Beautiful. Looks great.
It's beautiful.
Look at all those pages.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah.
Lost art strategy guides, by the way. Absolutely. I wish they didn't go away.
That's a retro radio Patreon exclusive show if I ever heard of one. Actually, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that tonight.
Sure.
Una writes in, "Hey guys, hope you both are doing well and staying healthy as you can. So I hold in my hand the chalice of gaming. My most holiest of light, act as your gaming shield. I am still going through Trails of the Sky trilogy. So I thought I'd give you guys one of the battle lines that I'm hearing with my
nice.
twist. Oh, thank you.
I love that.
I love that I read it in an accent. So my question is this week, what games make you think of summer times? Ooh, great question. As we have entered the summer months, these past couple of years, I've noticed that I'm always playing Trials games during the summer, and it may be JRPGs in general, because during the summer, with how much time is on my hands, I easily get lost in a long JRPG. So I throw it over to you guys. What genres of games make you think of the summer?
That's a great question, Una.
I got two.
All right, go for it.
One, got back into Sea of Thieves.
Of course you did.
Damn, I love being a pirate. Here's the thing, Kyle. Like, I'm really good. Like, really good at Sea of Thieves. So, like, for me, like, the best thing about this game is, like, it is kind of like the Smash Brothers effect, where it's like, it's as deep as you want to make it. In terms of like surface level, anybody could play it and it's very balanced. But there's intricacies and little tricks that you could do to make you an elite player in that game. So to me, I think, and shout out to CJ for Player One Podcast for getting us in and being our Sherpa. That's what I equate to summertime, because you're out on the seas, you're out on these beaches, you're with your friends. Everybody has more free time because it's summer. That is what I think of when I think of summer game. And I've said it here and I'll say it again. The best games as service game that Xbox has.
Oh,
bar
hands
none.
Down.
Hands down. Yeah. So good. So pure. The other thing, Una, for me is, ironically, this is when I get into a Souls game. Like, this is where I replay Bloodborne. This is where I'll probably replay and actually play Elden Ring. This is actually where I'll get those big RPGs, those big games that are on my plan to plat. This is where I get those games out of the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when I think of summertime, I've never had a summer to just, besides the last couple of years during quarantine.
Yeah.
I've never had a summer where I can just do what I want. Even during school. Yes, when I was little, for sure. But like, I didn't have a PlayStation at that point in time or whatever. But like, I think of working at summer camp every day. I think of working 12-hour days at the park all summer long.
Yeah.
So summer to me, I think of games where friends would come over for like sleepovers. I think of Tony Hawk. I think of Twisted Metal. I think of Madden. I think Madden. Love that they're embracing him, by the way, on the cover.
Yeah.
We'll see how that game is, but I think of like party co-op things. I think of like NBA Jam and GoldenEye that I would play at my friend's house for hours at ends. Mm-hmm. I also think of Pokemon. Oh. I think of bringing my Game Boy outside.
Okay.
And fun fact about me, I can't do it much anymore. I used to climb trees in my yard.
Oh, hot damn. Kyle climbing trees.
Yeah. And sit up there and either read a book or play Pokemon on my Game Boy for like hours on end. So I think of me sitting in the tree catching Pokemon awesome. for a long period of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Goosebumps books have been right up in top of trees, by the way.
A lot of summer vibes, man. Gaming. I think I feel like I may get the most done during the summer when it comes to games.
Yeah,
I don't know, but you know what? Like recently, Kyle, it's not like just work and stuff. There's just been so much content of just like outside. Like we got Kenobi, right? We got Miss Marvel that you're enjoying. Like we got Moon Knight. Like The Boys. Oh God, so good this season. Like there's just so much that I'm consuming that like I don't have enough time for games. But it's like it's a nice little break that I'm getting away from, so that I can come back to and really enjoy it. So like TMNT, it's like, oh yes, absolutely. Like Fortnite, I'll still constantly jump back into and get all those victory royales in. So absolutely. Gav Williamson writes in from Twitter. I was gonna say Twitch. Which popular video game did you hate that everyone else seemed to enjoy? Sorry, Mr. Babbitt, but I hated Red Dead Redemption 2. The story was long. Dutch saying he had a plan quickly became boring. I wish I didn't bother playing it. Keep up the great work as always, guys. # sweet num-nums.
I appreciate you.
You know what? We're unbanning Banger. You guys made me do this. Sweet num-nums is officially banned.
Whatever you do, don't listen back to the show where you had to go answer the door. Whatever you do.
I was wondering what you did there.
Because the story, it took me a while to read that, right? Yeah.
Because I walked back, I'm like, only 3 sentences, Kyle?
Yeah.
God.
Our Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great pick. Because I mean, I didn't play the original. It's one of Joe's favorite games of all time. Yeah. I didn't gel with 2 at all. It was the biggest ego stroke in a video game I could ever think of.
Yeah, when people like Neil Druckmann writes out of his ass, I'm like, actually, he's pretty good. You should take a look at those brothers over there at Rockstar.
Yeah. Like, I don't need to see horses' balls and physics. You know what I mean? I don't need to go hunt wildlife and them having actual, like, real to life life cycles and nighttime, daytime sleep cycles. And no, thank you. Tracking things, it was so hard to track things in that game. That map, very hard to read, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be my answer because I tried it. I didn't love it. It used to be Bloodborne. I have now eaten my own words.
You're goddamn right.
I think I've told you, maybe last week, I've embraced it. I think I'm a Souls boy now.
Yeah! Everybody clap. We're all cheering.
I think I am, but
yeah.
I'm going to keep thinking of another popular one as you answer.
For me, I would say the closest one is Psychonauts 2, where like everybody's like, this is fantastic. Oh my God, it wipes the floor with Ratchet and Clank or whatever. And I'm like, does it really? Because I'm like hellaciously bored. And it's nothing like, it comes down to like, I bet the story that they're telling is fantastic. And not to take anything away from Double Fine because they're great. And it's not just because they're at Xbox Studio. I've been getting like really yelled at by people yelling about it. Please stop. I have feelings. Anyway, nonetheless, whatever. If you're going to insult me, just use the right grammar. If I have to like cipher it, you failed. You just like take 5 minutes to troll me. Just 5 minutes or you're good. But like Psychonauts was just like, there was too much talking. There's too many cutscenes where I'm just like, these platforming elements are great if I could get there. And I feel like we're wasting way too much time in this lady's head. So let's move it or lose it. That would be one. And
oh, come on. I'm sending you on telepathically.
What?
Come on, Joe.
Tell me.
It's a Nintendo game.
Oh.
That you have notoriously on this show and others have talked ill about.
Oh. Let me crack my fingers here. Mario Odyssey is extremely overrated.
There it is, y'all. You're welcome.
Extremely overrated. It's a great game.
You can find Joe at Mr. Badbit on Twitter.
It's an extremely great game. Like it's great. On paper, perfect. But outside of New Donk City, everything just feels like an idea. And though the mechanics are fine, it doesn't wow me. I'm actually way more excited for Plucky Squire because I feel like it's playing with the aspects of Mario Odyssey I wish they played with more, which is like playing with the 2D, 3D, which I felt like that felt like a gimmick over time. But here in that little indie game that we saw in the Summer Game Fest, I feel like they're going to actually explore. And I'm going to just say something really, and it's going to burn all my Nintendo bridges. Most Nintendo games, kind of overrated. Really? Kirby, an 85?
Ooh.
Okay. You sure about that, bud? I don't think so, Nintendo Nook. The podcast within a PlayStation show. I don't think so. That said, the only underrated game from Nintendo is Metroid, which y'all don't like. Here's the thing.
It's a PlayStation. We've taken it.
We've taken it. We're appropriating it.
Uh-huh.
You don't respect Metroid. You guys shouldn't have it, so we'll have it. Give us Samus. We'll take care of her. Because you guys obviously don't give a shit. I'm sorry for the cuss. I'm so passionate. Like, Metroid Dread is honestly one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years. And only 3 million copies? Are you high and out of your mind? That and Splatoon. Splatoon are fantastic. The rest, I could take them or leave them.
I have it. I actually have an answer.
Yeah?
That's not Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Just Fallout in general.
Okay.
I can't get into Fallout.
You know what it is? This is another good rant. I feel like when it comes to RPGs with shooting, like first-person shooting, like Cyberpunk or Fallout, I can't get into it.
Yeah, I think the only one that I love is Mass Effect. That's the only one that has RPG mechanics with shooting that I can get behind. Fallout is just... There's just something about Bethesda RPGs that I just don't get.
Oh no! We're gonna get hate for it. Wind it back a little bit.
No, I won't.
Right.
I stop giving me all these options to pick things up because I'm gonna pick everything up in my OCD brain, and then you're gonna say I'm over encumbered with cheese. I don't care. I want all the cheese.
I go into a loading screen every time I open a door. Every time.
I could never get into it. The VAT system is a cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Skyrim's great though.
Didn't clip.
Please stop. Yeah, don't Xbox people settle. Just settle down for just a quick second. We like Skyrim. Though it ate our PS3 saves, we love that game. Todd Howard, more like God Howard, okay? Are you guys settled? Those procedurally generated planets are a really great idea. We don't lose anything by those cool little knickknacks that are on the floor that note that you picked up and you read. You're like, oh my God, this felt lived in. There was someone here. They had a story to tell and they're gone. Where did they go? Yeah, cool. That won't be there. 1,000 planets. Who cares? Put Randy Savage in the game. Mod it out. It's going to be great. Cool. All right.
That is the most toxic we will ever be on the show ever.
just
FYI to anyone listening new.
Let me
never happens.
Let me find a PlayStation game that I don't jive.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, right? Like, I didn't love playing Shadow of the Colossus, but like, I have to give that a second chance.
Nino Kuni, I'm playing as the president. Come on.
Oh, you're talking about the second one.
The president of the United States. He would get a poor person to do that. Let's be real. Right?
Or send Leon Kennedy to a European country.
That's right. With very outrageous Spanish accents, but you're not even gonna say it's set in Barcelona. Are you kidding me? All right, so we got canceled there. That was great. Thank you, Gav. King Henry, do you guys think the online factions Naughty Dog is working on will be a title that you need to buy, or released through the new PlayStation Plus tiers for free. I would say if PlayStation was smart, PlayStation Plus tier for free. But, all right, Xbox people, I'm going to get you back in here. If PlayStation could squeeze $1 out of a rock, they would squeeze
100% they will.
All right.
And I don't think, like, I was with you until Neil talked a little briefly about it at Summer Game Fest, where you said it best. I'm going to give you the credit here. I'm not going to steal your shine. It feels like it's going to be a Last of Us Division-esque game. Or that's what the artwork looks like. That's what I could see factions being the next evolution of. I think you're going to want to charge for that game. If it is as big and standalone as Neil is talking about, and not just the factions multiplayer mode, you're going to charge for that game.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? To get the Xbox people not angry at us, Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Game Pass is the best deal in gaming.
You said it again.
Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. That's the only way. You say it 3 times, and it stops 3 trolls from
Does Phil Spencer show up in the mirror? It's just like Beetlejuice?
Yeah. It's like on gamers around the world, when we all play together, we win. That's it. Dewane Raksha writes in, come to both of you pleading for help this week. The new PlayStation Plus launches in Australia midday today. Midday, mate! Sorry. I am so sorry. I am... The show's running late and I'm losing filters. I have drawn a few international lists and built a list. Kyle, let's get through this question. We got this.
Midday, mate, is what you went with. All right.
International lists and built a list of games that I believe I will have access on the extra tier. I'd love to hear from both of you, which game I should play first. So, okay, I'm clicking on this link.
He's using the GG app, which is a great app to keep track of your games.
And if you ever want to send me virus, this is how you could do it. Okay, right off the bat, Dead Cells. You kidding me?
Well, like, I mean... Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is on this list. I feel like that should be the number 1 destination.
Yes, but also Dead Cells is like probably the best indie game I've ever played.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that one at all. I think you can actually probably play both of those in tandem. I mean, there are a lot of great games on this list. Like Death Stranding is on here. We talked about that before. Please play Death Stranding.
Please.
Far Cry 3.
Oh, you know, you were going to get one comment. They're like, how dare you talk crap about Starfield? But Kojima, it's a walking simulator, you know?
It's a damn great walking simulator. I was there for the story, y'all.
That's right.
The gameplay, sure, wasn't like thrilling, but I was into that story. Yeah. So get off my back.
Oh, boy.
Meet me on planet 362. You know what I mean?
That's right. Artful Escape. It's a really easy platinum.
It is.
Really easy.
I don't know if I would go back.
Wonderful 101, though I'm not a fan of platinum games or how they treat their audience that are like English speaking by just blocking you, whoever that guy is. Sounds kind of like a little racist to me. Wonderful 101 remastered. The game looks interesting.
Shout out to you, Dewane, because I see a lot of golf games on here. I love you for that. Golf with your friends is a great time. Everybody's golf is a great time. Infinite Mini Golf, I haven't played, so I'm not going to say anything, but those are 2 great golf games. And of course, Tetris Effect. Come on now.
Oh, dude, Tetris Effect. Now. Absolutely.
That music legit made me cry.
Yep.
Playing that game.
I hear Prey is really good. I couldn't get into it, but it's Arcane, and I believe in Arcane. Mm-hmm. Anything they do is amazing, so... I mean, say for me,
at the end of the day, this is a great list. Days Gone I also love it, but like for me, Uncharted Lost Legacy should be your first stop.
There you go. And Kyle, if I dare say it myself, that's been this episode of the Trophy Room. Is there anything you'd like to spotlight before we head on out of here, good sir?
Sure. Please remember to comment Joe loves sweet num nums in the YouTube video and tweet at him and the show and me with that hashtag Joe loves sweet num nums for a chance to win $100 to PSN as a thank you to y'all from me, and also as a way to pay it forward from Griffin getting me the Last of Us Firefly edition from PS Direct, which I'm very, very thankful for. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. K-Step. Follow all the 61 Indie stuff at 61 Indie, pretty much everywhere. SIXONEINDIE. I'm very thankful to you all for sending so many amazing well wishes. It means the world, and thank you very much.
Yeah,
love you.
I love you so much, Kyle. I'm so happy you're okay. And everybody, you can find me over at Mr. Badbit over on Twitter. You can find the show on Twitter at PS Trophy Room. Get caught up to date of all of the things that we're doing over here at the podcast. And remember, gang, any moment, any day now, they could drop that God of War State of Play. So make sure you got your RSS feeds refreshed and then waiting, because I am losing patience. Let's go. Come on. Tap in the watch. Let's do this. So, with that said, you can follow the show over at The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast over on Apple Podcasts. Rate us 5 stars there. Get yourself able to win. You can even say, Joe loves Sweet Num Nums. I don't care if it gives me a 5-star review. I'll do it. I'll say it on the show 3 times in a row on a repeat. Rate us 5.
Really?
Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. And honest to goodness, we are about to break our goals for this year. Our goal is 400 reviews on Spotify, which we had to move the goal twice already. That's how awesome we've been crushing it. We're halfway there at 343 almost. And over on Apple Podcasts, we are 366 reviews worldwide. I think 260 in America. So if we get to 300 in US charts, that would be fantastic. That would be really help us out and hit all of our goals. And over on Patreon, if you really like what you hear, please consider throwing a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Sure, was that a little spicy this week? Was that a little on edge? Yes. But you know what? I liked it. And you can see an even spicier version on the post shows that you get if you're a Patreon supporter, and you get your name read on the show if you're a Silver Plus or Up member. So make sure, head on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Help us out. We got some big dreams, man. Kyle's sounding fantastic. All because of you. So with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody.
Yes.
Keep what's about you.
I'm sorry, that was a bad time for me to do that.
Keep playing PlayStation. Love y'all.
You should have never given me this power.